There you might know the Muslim cowboy. He's currently in Malawi right now giving dawah to the villages in Malawi along with a group of brothers from the UK from iERA, which is an international Dawah organization that has over 800 du'at all over the world and has had, as of last year, they had 130,000. I want to repeat that number, 130,000 Shahaadas. Currently, they're on track to have 160,000 by the end of June. They will be going on another excursion to give dawah in the remotest parts of Africa to Rwanda at the end of June. The reason I bring that to you today is because I have been very fortunate to have been offered the opportunity to go with them. And so as part of that, they've asked to present their work to the communities and to get people to pledge their support to allow people like myself, the Muslim cowboy, and many others from around the world who participate in these events to go to these villages all over the world, in Africa and elsewhere, to give dawah and share the shahadas. Unfortunately, the slides and the presentation isn't available, but they have had numerous shahadas. One of the excursions last year to Malawi, one of the brothers, Muhyiddin, he posted about the power of witnessing 100 people take shahada all at once in a village. And the shahadas aren't the end. They have these du'at all over the world. In Africa, there's people there in Rwanda now that stay there, live there, actively work to teach and support and build up these new Muslims into pillars of the community. Rwanda, Islam came to Rwanda very late. It was the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century. And it was, as we've heard, you know the trope, right? Islam was spread by the sword. Islam came to Rwanda the same way it came to Malaysia, to Indonesia, to the far southeast, through trade. Traders, travelers, businessmen traveling to different parts of the world, they mingled with the community, they settled, they married, they had children, and Islam flourished. Some of you remember the genocide in Rwanda back in the early 90s. Islam grew after that because the Muslims provided support to many of those who were being oppressed. And people saw that. They saw the proof in the pudding, so to speak. They saw the actions supporting the Iman, and they were drawn to Islam. In spite of all of that, it's still only maybe 5% in Rwanda. It's still very much minority. But believe it or not, they have Eid is already recognized in Rwanda. And we have the opportunity to go the end of June, the 23rd to the 30th, to Rwanda to continue that work in even the most remotest villages of Rwanda, to talk to these people and to share the message of Islam. And inshallah, we'll see dozens, if not hundreds of shahadas in Rwanda. He's trying. So that is the opportunity that I have here. So I am going to be attending. I'm trying to raise for them. The minimum they asked for was 5,000 pounds, which is like $6,700. I told them I can do better than that. I was counting on you, and of course the rest of our community. Told them 15,000 pounds. Up, down. So 15,000 pounds, maybe $18,000, $19,000. That's what we're looking to raise. There's a QR code that's going to be on my office door. It unfortunately isn't here, but it'll be on social media as well, on the outreach page, and inshallah on the ICI social media, and hopefully the website as well. But if you can donate, that would be fantastic. If you'd like to find out more about it, you can talk to me, and the QR code will be on my door, and inshallah I'll find a way to share the presentation so you can learn more about this work and see the photos and even some of the videos of these shahadas and what happened. Let me share one last story about this so you understand the transformation that takes place with these people. One of the stories they shared with us in the very first meeting we had after being welcomed to the program, I believe it was in Malawi. There were 3 women, prostitutes, who happened to come and listen to their presentations, and they were moved. And they took Shahada. 3 prostitutes. But that was their only means of living. So for a while, they were still doing the job that they had while attending new Muslim classes. They were serious. They were committed to this deen. So as they were learning, they began to feel a dis-ease in their hearts. They couldn't continue with what they were doing and still be attending these classes wanting to be better Muslims. So the community there came together. They found a way to bring some money together for them. They facilitated them to start a clothing business where they're making and selling clothing. All three of them were able to leave that work and earn halal income and become committed hijabis, practicing Islam in that village where they had been prostitutes just a short while before. That's one of many stories that come from these journeys. And while I'm there, there'll be plenty and plenty of pictures and videos and things that I'll be sharing with our community to let them see the part they play in these truly transformational journeys that these people go on. So I'm very sad that we couldn't share this with you, but like I said, the information will be there. I'll have the QR code on my door. It'll be on the social media page for outreach, definitely, and inshallah on the website for ICI as well. And if any of you happen to follow me on social media individually, it definitely is going to be there. So inshallah, do what you can. Come and talk to me if you'd like to get the QR code directly, and inshallah we'll get this done. We'll raise that money and we will make this happen, and you will be part of these shahadas in Africa and the change that takes place. You can support, this is one of the things I had on the slides here, you can support an entire village. They work on establishing Islamic villages in these regions. It's maybe $6,800 to support an entire village, 100 people in one region to become a Muslim community in Rwanda. This is one of the opportunities amongst many, supporting even a single Muslim, 10 Muslims, 30 Muslims, a few $100, $1,000 maybe. There's so much, and inshallah we'll share it. If you're all sitting here, so we'll talk about it a little bit more if that's the case. So life-affirming journeys we talked about. We mentioned the history of Rwanda. So they are in, all right, I'm going to stop this because this isn't working anyways. Just pull it up. All right, so they are in 31 different countries, this organization, iERA. Some of you know this. Some of you know Abdurrahim Green. He's the head of this organization. He founded it. So if you know him, he goes back even a little further than me. The funny thing is when I first saw him, people thought he and I were twins. His beard is a little longer than mine these days, but he's still a bear. Funny, he hailed from the same part of England where my family originated from, on the west side of England in Shropshire, which was something I didn't know until I communicated with him a while back. But they're already in 31 different countries around the world right now. As I mentioned earlier, they have over 800 full-time du'at in these different countries. They have had over 130,000 shahadas as of last year alone. And as I said, they're on pace to hit 160,000 by June this year. So you could be part of that. Part of that 160K by the end of June. That end of June will be Rwanda, the 23rd to the 30th, inshallah. And their goal, they have a goal. This is the himma, the high himma, the high intentions, the high goals. They have a goal of 1 million shahadas by 2030. That's something that all of us have a chance to be. I've put my own money into this journey as well. I'm not asking you to do something I haven't already done myself. And there's already people in the community that have donated. 1 million shahadas is their goal right now. And we gave the history of Rwanda. Oh, it's going backwards. That's why. Weird. Okay. So joining in June, we're visiting rural villages, teaching the new Muslims while they're there, and sharing the experiences. As I said, I'll be sharing all of this online, inshallah. Testimonies from I mentioned Muhammadin's experiences, and I mentioned the story of the former prostitutes that have now become successful businesswomen, have left that work and become practicing hijabi Muslims in their village where they used to be known for something entirely different than that. So continuing this prophetic mission, we know this. We know this. The dawah is the mission, the reason the prophet was sent. Balaghu mubin, a clear conveyance of the message. And as we've seen in these examples, 100 shahadas in one village alone in one time, 20 a month is average in these villages, they say. When people hear the message clearly, they accept without hesitation. I was just watching a video from the Muslim cowboy in Malawi right now, and there were some village leaders in the village in Malawi where they were, and he asked them, he said, what would you say if the Christians came to you and said you were lied to, you were treated, you were tricked? would you have any doubts? Do you feel like you were tricked or forced? And they said, no, 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 we know that Islam is the truth. They were brand new Shahadas. And they were willing to take that stand. If the leaders are taking that stand, you can imagine what the community in that village are doing. There's stories from the Prophet's time in Yemen and other places where the leaders in their villages, their communities took Shahada, and then the whole village took Shahada with them. That's what's happening right now in Malawi. And what, inshallah, will be happening in Rwanda at the end of June. It's a legacy that we know. We all are bearers of that responsibility. Dawah is fard ayn. It is an individual responsibility in every single one of us. Whatever little part you can do, whatever interactions you have an opportunity to share the message of Islam and change lives. Change lives. That's something that we all have an opportunity. And this is just one of many ways that you can do that. Every little interaction you have in your day, you can have an effect. You can move the needle. Don't think that the only way you have accomplished this mission is by getting a Shahada. A Shahada is a process that takes, if some of you might remember my khutbah a few weeks ago when the brother took Shahada, Tamir. And we're still going to do that podcast. We haven't forgotten that. The journey, it's a journey. It takes many steps for people sometimes. And so even chipping away at the misconceptions, the fear, the anger at Muslims, we see too much of that these days with Epic, yes? Actually, I just saw now that the DOJ is going to investigate Epic officially now. Any positive interaction you have with someone when you're at the store, when you're on the street, when you're driving, when you're at work, when you're out in your community, most of us live in villages, Muslim villages, but when you're out in the larger community, any positive interaction you have with someone, that can move the needle in the right direction. Enough of those experiences, enough of us being involved in this community will move that needle even further. Just as a side point on this is not part of what we're talking about with Rwanda, but Sunday at 1 p.m., we're going to be doing Keep Irving Beautiful. Some of you might remember this. This is where we go along the street, we pick up the trash to help make the community look better. Sunday, 1 p.m., we'll be gathering right outside my office, and we'll be doing that along Esther's from Rochelle to Rainier. We've been doing it already for about 6 months. We're trying to expand. So anyone that's available right before Dhuhr, inshallah, we'll be there. We'll have vests. Everybody will know what we're doing, and we'll be posting pictures online, and people will know, and we may even wind up in their report for the month of May, inshallah. So that's another side opportunity. But again, these are one of those ways we move the needle, by being visible Muslims, not just in our own communities, in our own masajid, but out in the world. They have to see us in order to have those attitudes change. And this is our heritage. This is the sunnah that we have come. You can support this. What they do when they're there, they hire specialists to reach out to the people. They develop the du'at. They train them to become the teachers in their own villages where they came from. Ibrahim is nodding his head. I bet you he knows stories like this from his own, like providing resources to them. We mentioned the business loans they provided to these sisters so they could leave the prostitution. All of these things. These are all steps. These are all things that we need to be doing here and needs to be done there even more, because there's even less support for them there than there is here. They don't have ICI there. They only have what they have in these small villages. And they even sponsor the villages. I mentioned $6,800 to sponsor an entire Islamic village, 100 people in one small community. They become, like we have here in Andalus and in Tuscany and these other areas, etc. They become like that in Rwanda. Imagine that. Imagine being part of that. That's what we all have an opportunity to do. So I mentioned the sponsorships. You can sponsor one Muslim. This type is really small. Sponsor one Muslim is only $67 to sponsor just one of those new Muslims. 3 is about $200. 10 new Muslims is about $662. And then I mentioned the village. Sponsor one village, $6,617.78. It's a weird number because I'm converting from pounds. I apologize for the weird numbers. But this is the opportunities that are there to sponsor these things and to do this, etc. So why does this keep coming back? It takes me to weird places. There we go. So we mentioned the education, the community, the support, etc. And donating, etc. And the QR code is here. It's going to be on the door, and I'll put it on social media all over the place. If you want to see the QR code now, you feel like you're motivated to do it right now, The QR code is right there if you want to. But as I said, it'll be all there. If you have any questions, you want to find out more about it, there may even still be some slots available if you want to go on this trip. There may be still some slots available. If you think, hey, I want to be there too, there still may be slots available. If you're interested, I can give you the website where you can try and sign up and see if you can join us as well, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Sisters, just by the way, you're not left out of this. The QR code is going to be on my office door. You can feel free to reach out to me, touch base with the office if you want to find the QR code to donate. You're the backbone of our community, so don't shirk this responsibility. It's on you as it is on all of us. Farad Ain, inshallah, all of us. Jazakallah khair.